The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene is here as well. We are live in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. It is a Monday morning, and it is officially the week before the NFL draft. It is coming up fast and furious next Thursday again. Don't forget, we are going to be live in the Wicked Weed studio for all 3 days of the NFL draft, giving you our instant analysis with your run up to
mouth words, memory time.
Shut up. With your with the run up to the draft coming. Is it like Christmas? Is it feeling like draftmas?
For me, it's great.
Is it really?
This is the point of draft prep. It's like every bar I was ever in. I'm trying to figure out who's lying to me and who's serious. Because there's a lot of lies.
There is a lot of lies. And as we did last week, we'll do something very similar as we did last Monday of sifting through the bullshit, lies, damn lies, and headlines.
There's a lot of lies. There's a lot.
There's a lot of it going on. We'll talk about late risers and also some guys whose draft, the rumors on them are that they are falling in the NFL draft. Today also, we're going to talk about our confidence level in the picks in the draft, because I think I'm locked in for the top six.
I have a pick in the 20s that I would bet my soul on.
So we're going to get on into all of it. Jeez, great start to the week.
Mouth words, memory time.
Jesus, great start to the week. We're going to go all over it here over the next hour in the Sportsocracy. We thank you for tuning in with us. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We got all draft team needs coming out over the next couple of days here, so be sure to tune in, and if you haven't already, be sure to bookmark your favorite team's playlist, as we've got it all available here in the Sportsocracy. So sifting through the bullshit, let's talk about trades first, because there's a lot going on about Denver's going to trade, Detroit's going to trade down, the Cowboys could trade down. Who do you think is going to be the candidate to actually move down in the draft?
Atlanta Falcons, Detroit Lions. That's it.
You think
there are no other contenders here?
Somebody's getting to 4?
I don't think anybody has to, and I think they know that. I think Atlanta's going to be stuck taking Kyle Pitts. Which they're fine with. They're drunk on Kyle Pitts.
I was going to say, I don't know if stuck would be the right way to put that.
Yeah, but they don't want to. They want to trade down and get more draft capital. They saw what the Dolphins just did, and they want to do that.
Right.
Unfortunately, there is nobody that feels the urge to get up to 6 because they know they can do the same thing at 7 with Detroit.
Mm-hmm. I think Detroit is probably the prime candidate to trade down right now. I think everybody right there in that little group: Detroit, Carolina, Denver, and Dallas.
Denver will not move down under any circumstances.
No. I'm saying that somebody's going to make a trade within those 4.
Denver is the team most likely to trade up. I don't think that's even debatable, and I think it would be for Trey Lance. Might be for Justin Fields, might be for Mac Jones. The biggest problem is that I know definitively what's happening at 1 and 2. It's 3 where shit starts to get sideways. Because there's so much misinformation out there that I can't figure out. I've said the whole time, and I backed off of it, and now I'm back to where I started. I cannot believe the San Francisco 49ers traded up to 3 and gave that much up to get Mac Jones. Mm-hmm. It's like spending a $200 bar tab on a girl that's kind of cute.
But it would make so much more sense to you if they did it for Trey Lance.
It would to me. The high end on Trey Lance is markedly higher.
Right. I don't know.
Trey Lance could be what you were sold that Cam Newton was for all these years, with an actual legitimate big boy arm. I've also been told that San Francisco, who is running Trey Lance's pro day today, could be swayed to take him at 3, which is where I had him originally when they made this trade.
Right.
And then I backed off of it because I'm a big dumbass.
Well, because everybody was talking. Mac Jones makes perfect sense. He's the kind of guy that, he's the kind of game manager that Kyle Shanahan would want in his offense. It all made so much sense when the rumors started coming out and every analyst started jumping on the Mac Jones bandwagon. So don't feel bad that you got took.
I didn't really get took. I just it was like I just laid down like an old dog. Okay, fuck it.
I'm still with the rumor mill. I think at number 3 it's going to be Mac Jones. But that's just me, and we'll get into that in just a second. But Philadelphia, I've been hearing this crap again. Philadelphia's thinking about trading back up into the top 10. Why on earth would they? I mean, you've already traded down out of the top 12. Why would you turn around and spend that capital to get back up a couple of more spots?
Yeah, Philadelphia is going to trade up into the top 10. No, not. No, not. Stop doing that. I don't know who's putting that out there, but it's comically stupid. You would acquire all this draft capital, move away from getting whoever you want, and then you're going to move back up. That doesn't make any sense.
No,
that would be dumb. That would be almost as dumb as the old EP445.
EP445. What
yeah,
is that?
the gigantic dude, the gigantic Eagles YouTuber guy that gets really pissed off at everything the Eagles do.
Oh, okay.
You know the guy I'm talking about, the real fat guy?
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't heard this story?
No.
Yeah, he had a fun weekend.
Oh, God.
He got busted trying to pick up a 13-year-old girl.
Oh.
There's a little child predator group in Philadelphia that, he was, and it was gross.
Don't do that.
Screenshots, all kinds of shit. Just stop that. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
Not good at all. The Dallas Cowboys seem to be hot on the rumor mill of the target for a lot of people. Chicago is apparently, there's rumors out there that Chicago has a trade partner in Dallas to get up to 10. The Philadelphia Eagles have been tied to the 10th spot with the Dallas Cowboys as well. And I guess the overall theory here is that there is, I guess the Jerry Jones and company will not be doing anything to be able to secure that number 4 spot to get Kyle Pitts. And so at that point, they want to trade down. I don't know that that's true because we've had Patrick Surtain locked in at number 10 for a long time.
What sense does that make? And I say this on a daily basis. When you hear shit like that, just ask yourself the question, why would they do that? Why would Dallas trade down to 20 where you're not guaranteed to get a corner? Mm-hmm. What are you going to do? What you going to take down there? Is Elijah Vera Tucker? Is that really going to...
Caleb Farley?
You're not getting Caleb Farley at 20.
He's not going to fall that far?
I'm not getting Caleb
With
Farley
the injury issues?
No.
Okay.
No. That's been bullshit from day one. Caleb Farley is the number 1 corner on some teams' boards. If it wasn't for the back thing, he'd probably be a top 10 pick. He ain't falling to 20. And just think about it. Jerry Jones is going to go, there's a lot of guys I like, but I'm going to trade down to 20 where I might not get any of them. Does that sound like Jerry Jones to you?
It doesn't sound like Jerry Jones at all. It doesn't sound like Jerry Jones at all, but I mean there is some sense to that.
Not really.
I mean they have a very high paid roster. They need to add young talent to it that would save them money. So why not get more draft capital and add younger guys that you're not going to have to pay so much?
See, this is what happens when people get let loose with mock draft simulators. Like, look, I can make trades. This makes sense. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It makes absolutely zero sense. And think about the Bears. What quarterback are they going to get at 10 that's going to save Ryan Pace's job or Matt Nagy's? You think getting up there and getting Trey Lance, who's a year away from being a year away, you think that's going to save their job?
No.
You think the McCaskey family is going to – yes, Ryan, we thought about firing you this year, but yes, please trade away future draft capital. We'll allow you to do that.
Well, that's something we won't know until draft night, right?
No, we know it now. I'm telling you now. The McCaskey family, under no circumstances, will allow Ryan Pace to trade up for the 5th best quarterback in this draft. No shot. Mm-hmm. They signed Andy Dalton. They have Nick Foles. That's what they're riding with.
Not even if it's Well, I was going to say Matt
Why would
Jones,
you let
but he
them
won't
do
go
that?
far.
Learn the lesson of the New York Jets. Why would you allow a GM that's a lame duck at best to trade away future draft capital? You see how when I say it that way, it sounds really stupid?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There you go. Dumb, dumb, dumb.
Right. Washington has been a team that's rumored to move up to try to get a quarterback.
Now, Washington makes sense, but they're not trading with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, who's Washington's trade partner? Are they going to trade with the
Detroit.
Lions? Do you realize how much they'd have to give up to get up there?
A lot.
It's a lot.
2 ones?
At least.
2 ones would have to be able to move up from 19 to 7.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's losing their shit about trades, and I get it, but you're trying to throw in all these ancillary players just because you don't like their roster. You have to remember, what you think about their roster doesn't mean shit. It's how do they feel? Washington feels like they got a quarterback that they can win games with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Mm-hmm. They feel like if he gets hurt or he's ineffective, they have Taylor Heineke and Kyle Popsicles Allen that can come in and win games for them. I mean, I didn't say they were right. I just said that's how they feel. How many quarterbacks you think they're going to carry? 9? No. They have 3 that they're definitively carrying. Why would they trade up and give up draft capital to get a 4th?
Why is he Popsicles? I have to ask.
Mr. Herbert from...
Hi, Kyle. Okay. All right. I thought you were making like an injury reference.
No. Nope.
Okay.
No.
All right. So if you had to bet your house on it, who's the team? Who are the teams that make trades?
Denver will move up, I think, to get a quarterback. If right now, if you told me there's 5 quarterbacks that I could see legitimately going in the first round, I think a 6th could. And don't be shocked if he does.
Denver.
That's Kellen Mond. Don't be shocked if it's Denver and New England. That's the 2 teams that make the most sense.
Okay.
I don't see any other team that it wouldn't cost just a dump truck load of shit to get up and go get these guys. Mm-hmm. Let me explain something to you. You know what most teams don't feel really good about giving up a war chest of picks for? The 4th best quarterback on their board. Mm-hmm. And right now, the reason that you haven't had any movement outside of San Francisco, because we have no idea what they're doing. Everybody wants to think it's Mac Jones, and they put that out there because, he reminds us of Matt Ryan, and that was kind of... okay. Yeah, he has that guy. His name's Jimmy Garoppolo. Mm-hmm. By the way, don't be shocked if Jimmy Garoppolo is a New England Patriot by the end of next weekend. Mm-hmm. I don't think you're bringing in a rookie to sit behind Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't buy it. Fan base will lose their shit. You take a quarterback at 3 and you put him behind the prettiest quarterback in the NFL. That is a porcelain doll Fabergé egg of a quarterback. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You see how stupid it sounds when I say it that way?
Right.
There you go.
I mean, that's always been the thought, though, is that they're going after the quarterback of the future, not the quarterback for right now. And so...
Would you have given up that many ones to get up to get your...
No.
Are you going to do that for a quarterback whose ceiling is Matt Ryan?
Woo! What will it cost?
No, I don't think so.
What will it cost New England?
To get Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah.
A 2.
Okay.
You get him for a 2. Because you still have to pay him. It's not like he's going to rework that deal. Because the fact that he's the prettiest girl quarterback in the NFL is not going to do much for him. Mm-hmm. And he's about to not even have that.
If that happens,
Zach Wilson.
If that happens, do you feel better about New England?
No.
It doesn't. Still doesn't.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo's claim to fame is that when you do a gender swap on him, he's the best looking quarterback in the NFL. And literally, as of April 29th, he won't even have that anymore.
But I think you focus way too much on that. I mean, again,
Jimmy Garoppolo is one of the best looking women I've ever seen in my life?
No. I'm just saying, you keep saying that's all he's known for.
That's pretty much all he's known for.
Nah.
You ask the average NFL fan, what's your first take on Jimmy Garoppolo? As a girl.
He's a pretty girl.
Okay.
Let's be honest, he's a little bit more than okay.
You know. But he gets passed by Zach Wilson on April 29th. So
he gets passed by Zach.
Yeah, Zach Wilson will be the prettiest girl quarterback in the NFL.
Have you already seen this
100%.
mock-up?
Yeah.
Okay. I have not.
I know the guy that does those. I've seen them all.
Okay, so there's a new version coming out with the rookies.
On draft day.
You don't have to change anything about Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence.
No, actually, Trevor Lawrence's hair gets shorter.
I mean, I guess you got to try to distinguish somehow.
Yeah,
Has he got a nice little pixie haircut?
No, I'm not going to spoil it because it's really funny. You'll see what I'm talking about on draft night, I promise.
Yeah. So, trades are going to happen. I think you're right. I think Denver will trade up. possibly to 7.
Denver trading up makes the most sense.
I don't feel like they would have to give up too much
to get
up
to 9 to 3.
to get up to 7.
They have to give up a third-round pick. So Denver would get a free third-round pick to go from 9 to 7.
Mm-hmm. And Detroit, I mean, they need everything. So it doesn't
they
really
need
matter.
all things.
Yeah.
Now, you asked what it would cost for Washington. Washington to get up to Detroit would cost next year's one and probably another pick. I don't foresee them doing that.
I really don't either. But, I mean, there are, if they decide not to trade up, then there might be some quarterbacks that they could consider down later in the draft. We've got a lot of names that are screaming up draft boards right now.
Yeah, and don't buy the bullshit. There's one of them that's legitimate, and his name's Kellen Mond. Kellen Mond could go in the first round. And I'm telling you right now, just remember that I said this. Watch the Pittsburgh Steelers do something. I can't tell you what it's going to be.
Really?
Watch them do something.
I mean, I've been convinced that they are going to go with a running back.
I think they will, but I don't think they have to take that guy at 24.
Okay.
There are going to be a lot of teams that want to get back up into the back end of the first round because there's a lot of guys that beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and you don't know where they're going to fall. Could I see a path where Pittsburgh trades out of the first round and winds up with, I don't know, Kellen Mond? Yeah, I could. I can see it with Davis Mills, too.
Davis Mills. Mm-hmm. That's a name that has been brought up as a guy who's screaming up draft boards. It's hard for me to believe that he is in contention to be a first-round draft pick, though.
Why?
I don't know. It's just...
What about his game bothers you?
It's not his game that bothers me. It's the injury history.
Okay.
I mean, he had a history. I mean, he had 3 years of knee problems when he was at Stanford. And I feel
he
like
only
that's
had
something that
he threw less than 500 passes in his college career. Mm-hmm. He's the best deep ball thrower in this draft, and it's not close. Not even close. There's nobody even in the ballpark of him.
Okay.
Turns ball over a little bit. Mm-hmm. I mean, the kid's really talented. The injuries, yes, that's a problem. But, he's still talented. And I can't emphasize this now. Oh, by the way, I have to say this because Mel Kiper made me understand something. What's the most valuable commodity in the NFL right now?
A quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Which one? I'm not talking about what position. I'm talking about who. Who is the most valuable commodity in the NFL right now?
Oh, I don't know. Who is the most valuable?
Jordan Love. I had never thought of it. Green Bay's playing chess, not checkers. Because this is going to go one of two ways in Green Bay. Either Aaron's going to be superhero Aaron, and they're going to have to bring him back. Mm-hmm. And then you have the most valuable trade piece in the NFL. If Jordan Love was in next year's draft class, he would be the second best quarterback, and it's not close. And I'm higher on Sam Howell than anybody is. Mm-hmm. I think I'm ahead of the curve on that, but we also work for the Carolina Radio Network, so I see a lot of Sam.
Right.
And he spurned my college football team, so I've seen him since he was in high school. Don't be shocked.
Huh.
Don't be shocked if one way or another Green Bay trades a quarterback next offseason that fetches a hell of a little price.
Because it doesn't matter which one. It doesn't matter which one goes on the market. You're going to get a lot for either one of them. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers to me would be worth a little more. But then again,
he's not.
You got the younger, right?
And he's way more expensive,
right? Then again, Jordan Love is young, still on a rookie deal. He'll have 2 years left on a rookie deal by that point?
3.
3 years.
2 with the option.
Okay, 2 with the option. Somebody's going to make that move, and here's the thing: there are 2 teams in that division that could make that move, but they're not trading him within the division.
No.
So it's Washington?
Could be. Wouldn't shock me. Just telling you, that's one of the most valuable assets in the NFL right now, and I hadn't even begun to think of that until Mel Kiper said it.
Okay. I mean, I had thought about it, but there again, we haven't seen Jordan Love play.
Doesn't matter. That's the point. You haven't seen the bad. You have to go off the college projection. And his college he has better arm talent than any quarterback that'll be in the draft next year.
You're not wrong.
I'm well aware. It's not my fault.
I'm well aware.
If I start pubbing somebody else's thought, it was pretty damn good because I didn't think of it.
Right. Okay. But you think New England ends up with Jimmy?
I do. I just can't get away from it. I can't figure out why New England's not been more aggressive to get a guy The Justin Fields thing, like, can we stop with? I heard it this morning. What happened since the end of the season? Justin Fields was 1B. No, he wasn't. He was 1B as a college quarterback. He never was that as an NFL quarterback. And any evaluator that tells you what he was is a liar.
Well, I think the public just assumed that he was, because those, him and Trevor were the two superstars of college football. And so the public just goes, well, all the talk is about Trevor and Justin, so Justin has to be the second pick, right? And that's not necessarily how it works.
No, the ball comes out of Zach Wilson's hand different. He throws one of the best balls I've seen since Aaron Rodgers. Problem is who he played against. There's a reason every team in the NFL wanted Zach Wilson, and it's not because he's it's not because we're all wrong. There are teams that have Zach Wilson ahead of Trevor Lawrence. Do I agree with that? Not really, but I get it.
So Davis Mills and Kellen Mond are both screaming up draft boards. Give me the ceiling, Jeremy. What's the ceiling for these guys? How high could they go, and who's it going to be?
You give me a guy, I'll tell you.
Kellen Mond.
I will say 24 to Pittsburgh. I think that's the ceiling of how high he could go.
Okay. And Davis Mills.
32 to Tampa Bay.
So you're telling me I need to
that's the
really
highest
like
it
Davis
could go.
Mills. That's the highest he could go? Not New Orleans?
Hold on, I got to address this because Roy said this in the comments. Roy said Jordan Love wasn't even the second string quarterback in Green Bay. Think about that. Think about what you just said. Why? Because they trusted Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle would come in and do kneel downs and other bullshit like that. They've put packing peanuts around Jordan Love. One of two things happens with quarterbacks when you put them in packing peanuts and we don't see them for a while. You either fall more in love with the tape or you fall less in love with the tape. There were teams that really liked Jordan Love. They didn't feel like he was ready, and they felt like he would get them fired because there were a lot of teams. Pittsburgh would have been ideal. There were a lot of teams that could have wound up with him. They didn't want to take him in the first round. Now, my favorite line, at closing time, the Cankles girl that's got a nice buzz on her becomes steak tartare. And next year, that's closing time because there are no quarterbacks. There are none. Because you got the Houston Texans, Detroit Lions, and Philadelphia Eagles that all may or may not need a quarterback. Two of the three definitively will. There are two. It's Keaton Slovis and it's Sam Howell. There's not another guy that can. There's not a Joe Burrow in this class. I've watched them all. There's no arm talent in this class that I go, well, shit. Tyler Shuck, but he's going to be playing at Texas Tech. Pat Mahomes fell at Texas Tech. What do you think is going to happen with Tyler Shuck, who we already have questions about? There aren't quarterbacks. And there are not available quarterbacks. Name me another young quarterback in the NFL that's sitting behind a starter. I'll wait. Name me a backup. Name me any backup that you think could be a starter in this league.
It's not.
There's not one.
Yeah, it's not.
There's not one. There haven't been guys like that have come into the league and been starters.
Right.
Jordan Love is the unknown. And can you sell a team on that? 100%. Matt Flynn.
Ugh.
Matt Hasselbeck. I could do this for a while. This has happened a bunch of times.
With Seattle.
Seattle seems to be involved in a lot of them.
Well, not anymore. I mean, they're settled at quarterback, and I think I'm glad that has disappeared. I'm glad we've stopped with the Russell Wilson talk.
Yeah. Stephen Tao said Joe Burrow wasn't Joe Burrow a year before. You're 100% right, but there was still arm talent. I still saw things, and I'm not. I had him as a draftable quarterback coming into the year. I'm looking at the quarterbacks I have as draftable quarterbacks next year, and I go, you have a massive flaw. Either your mechanics are bad, decision-making's bad, you turn the ball over a lot, you've been unseated by somebody else. And Spencer Rattler, please throw that at me. I watch his tape, and my brain starts to hurt. Like, literally my brain starts pressing against my skull watching Spencer Rattler. But that's a guy that you're going to hear a shit ton about because he has a live ball arm. There's just not a lot of those. And I don't know if this is a trend for now or if this is the way things are going to go. You have a lot of quarterbacks that are deadly accurate at 5 yards. And the deep ball, it's who are you throwing to? And I'll tell you, I've watched this regress over the last 5 years. The NFL is changing the way quarterbacks play in college. It's changing the way the game's played in high school. So you're getting a different level of prospect coming out. They all have a drawback. The reason that everybody loses their mind over Trevor Lawrence is because he doesn't have that. The one bit of tape you can watch on Trevor Lawrence is when he was a freshman, that he really could not understand too high safety because he would try to force the ball in because he trusted his arm. Well, he figured that out, and he stopped doing that. Zach Wilson, the ball looks really good, but there's a lot of bad tape from his first 2 years. Does he regress to that when he doesn't have the best talent on the field? Because he's not going to.
Quarterbacks are...
And that little diatribe was brought to you by QB1.
The quarterback game is changing.
100%.
And we've seen a lot more of this move to, as you said, the shorter throws because there's so many amazing athletes now. I mean, the guys are just, we always talk about how the players are getting bigger, faster, stronger. Well, when you're talking about wideouts, they don't have to be bigger anymore. It's just how fucking fast can you be? And
here's the thing.
How multiple can you be?
Hey, you want to know why Justin Fields is falling? I'll make it real simple for you. Name the starting quarterbacks of the last 5 Super Bowls. Oh, I'll do it for you. Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, Jimmy Garoppolo, Tom Brady, Jared Goff, Nick Foles, Tom Brady, Matt Ryan. God bless, that's a lot of Tom Brady. You know what they all have in common? In a foot race, they'd lose to me.
Right.
This whole mobile quarterbacks are the wave of the future. Cool, let one win a Super Bowl. Then we'll talk. And before you give me Russell Wilson, that defense won that Super Bowl way more than he did. And if you're being honest with yourself, you know I'm right. Lamar Jackson, he's great. Cool. He hadn't won shit. Never been to a Super Bowl, never been to a conference championship game. One playoff win. Woo.
So are you saying that the days of the smaller, more mobile, on-the-move quarterback are going to disappear?
Am I saying that? No, because that's become a thing.
Right.
It's a thing to fans because it's a lot of fun to watch. It's not a thing with front offices. I want you to be just mobile enough that you can get out of trouble. I don't want you to run first and foremost. Justin Fields runs first and foremost a lot. And people say, oh, look at his grades on his second read. Watch the tape on that. That's a really misleading stat because it's not like he's going through progressions. Usually it's he rolls out of the pocket, the defense follows him, and somebody winds up wide-ass open down the field. Guess where that doesn't happen? The National Football League.
Right. Other fast risers, late risers here in the draft process. Let's talk about one guy that you really love. Little running back out of Memphis, Kenny Gainwell.
Oh, I love him. Good Lord, I love him. Sean Alexander just compared him to Le'Veon Bell.
Oh.
And now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it.
Yeah, that's a hell of a comparison.
Big.
That is a hell of a comparison. But do you think he's a guy that could sneak into the first round?
No. He won't be in the first round. There's a running back that could be in the first round that none of you are talking about, and his name is Javonte Williams. How high can he go? 18 to Miami. That's how high he can go. Will he? I don't think so. I think Miami will trade back at 18. Because you're getting into the quarterback needy, and I'm going to be really honest with you, I won't be shocked if one of the quarterbacks is still sitting there at 18. I will not be shocked.
One of the top 5?
Yep.
I mean, that would be the shock of the draft, because we've all been under the assumption that all 5 of the quarterbacks are going in the top 10. That there will be teams to make a move to get up into the top 10 to get the quarterback. Quarterback's such a valuable position in the NFL. We all know you have to have one, and that's why these teams get caught in this chasing a quarterback over and over and over again. I don't know that I could believe that.
Well, that's the thing. You have to realize there's so many front offices that are in a sling. So what are you going to do? You're going to hinge your future on your 4th best quarterback? Really? You're going to hinge your future on a quarterback that's a year away from being a year away. Trey Lance is the one I could see falling, or I could see him going at 3. The quarterbacks move everything. But now back to what I was saying, Javonte Williams is the running back that could sneak into the first round.
What has changed? What has changed about Javonte Williams?
People watched the tape. They looked at the stats on Javonte Williams and they went, oh, he was in timeshare with Michael Carter. And so Michael Carter would come in and thump, and that's how. No, that's not how that went. They're not equal running backs, but they're very, very good running backs. And you watch the tape on him, and you watch him outside of the bad tape on him, teams figured out it's all in zone schemes. Schematically, if you run Javonte Williams in a zone scheme, he's not going to work out well. So you don't want to see him with the 49ers or the Jets. There's a few more of these. Atlanta's not one of them anymore. There are a few teams that run a lot of zone principles. You don't want Javonte Williams in that. His bad tape was in that. If you don't plan on doing that, his tape's fantastic. Najee Harris, there's a fear that when he gets into the NFL and he's on a 12-month-a-year NFL food program that he's going to bulk up and gain weight and he's going to wind up as fat Eddie Lacy. I'm not saying I think that's going to happen. I'm saying that's a fear that teams have. Okay. Travis Etienne's little. He's real little, and he gets compared to C.J. Spiller, who was a complete disaster in the NFL. For better or worse, that's the way it goes. You know, the reason that we make comparisons to guys that went to the same school is because schools tend to recruit guys that are the same. So there are a lot of guys that look a lot alike. I won't be shocked if there's not a running back in the first round. I also won't be shocked if the first one's Javonte Williams.
I will be truly shocked if there's not a running back in the first round because I've always thought that there are three teams that are going to be hot on a running back late in the first round, and it's Miami, Pittsburgh, and the New York Jets.
The Jets are not taking a running back at 23.
That's going to be a defensive player?
Nope.
No.
You remember I said at the beginning of the show there was a pick in the 20s that I would bet my house on?
Yeah.
It's Tevin Jenkins at 23 to the Jets.
Ah, okay.
There's another one that I feel real good on, but I'm not to the bet my house stage. We'll get to that in a minute. yeah, Tevin Jenkins will be Tevin Jenkins, his floor is 23 to the Jets.
Okay.
They love him.
All right. And by the way, I saw this yesterday. If you are betting on the NFL, do you bet on the NFL draft? You do? Okay. All right. Well, maybe we need to start incorporating that into the run-up of the coverage here, giving out some odds, because I saw the odds of Javonte Williams being the first running back off the board was like plus 500. Might be worth a simoleon or two.
It's worth a doubloon. I'd throw a doubloon or two at it.
I mean, I'm not buying it. I mean, I'm a Carolina guy. I love Javonte Williams, but I don't think he's going to be the first guy off the board. I don't know. Can't wrap my head around the fact that there would be teams that would pass on Najee Harris and Travis Etienne. I get the C.J. Spiller thing, but I don't know. I think it's just lazy to try to put that on Travis Etienne. You can't predict injuries.
It's not. It's C.J. Spiller's problem was not injuries. That didn't help. He was ineffective before anything ever happened to him because he did this thing that he ran east and west, not north and south. And that's a problem. And there's a fear that Etienne might try to do that in the NFL.
Okay. There's another Carolina guy screaming up boards as well, De'Ami Brown, the wide receiver for the North Carolina Tar Heels. We have seen what he is capable of. When he had Sam Howell throwing him darts, he made some amazing catches. He always seemed to find a way to get open. And teams are now realizing that he might be worth a first-round pick.
I have him in my 7-round mock draft that will come out the day of the draft. I will not be shocked if De'Ami Brown's my pick at 29 to the Green Bay Packers. He has screamed up boards. And one very humble, very jovial, fat leprechaun told you that 3 months ago. This guy.
Wait, I thought you were convinced that Green Bay was not taking a wide receiver.
I was, because I thought Tevin Jenkins was going to fall to them. Well, no, he's not. Okay, you're going to take an offensive lineman. Name him. Name him. That's how you do the back end of these drafts. This is why I've always done so well in the back end. Name it.
Jackson Carman?
Won't be there.
Alex Leatherwood?
A lot of teams are down on him because they're. Hey, remember that thing I said about Najee Harris? Works for Alex Leatherwood, too. Because Alex Leatherwood could be 400 pounds in 6 months, and it wouldn't shock anybody.
Right.
Now, Alex Leatherwood won't go the first round. Alex Leatherwood will be lucky to go in the second round.
Okay.
The tape on him's good at times, but there's a fear that he's going to get beluga whale big.
Beluga whale.
There's a fear that Alex Leatherwood's not going to be able to touch his toes in about 6 months. So,
I mean, I think you have that concern with a lot of sandwich eaters.
I haven't seen my Willie in years. I have bigger titties than you do.
Landon Dickerson.
Now that's a dude that's rising up boards. Landon Dickerson, I've never seen somebody do something incidentally that pushed their draft stock up so high.
Okay.
At Mac Jones Pro Day, Landon Dickerson did a cartwheel behind him. It's a dude that tore his ACL not 5 months ago. Yep. You know what a lot of teams did when they saw that? That knee looks pretty good.
Yeah.
He landed that pretty swift.
Fucking guard that can do a cartwheel.
There's one fear for me on Landon Dickerson, and that's that the best tape on him was when he was 23 years old, because he's a fifth-year senior.
Right.
He started at Florida State. I do tend to get really weird with offensive linemen that are 2 or 3 years older than the guys they're playing, and because you're a man amongst boys. I mean, think about you at 23 and think about you at 20. A big physical difference there. That scares me a little bit, but I still really like Landon Dickerson.
Okay.
To what you said about De'Ami Brown might be the 5th receiver in this draft. You want me to tell you why?
Why?
Because he's an outside receiver, and there's not a lot of those.
There
are not a lot of guys you look at and go, that guy can play on the outside in the NFL.
Right.
Well, I mean, Devontae Smith can, but he's better than slot. Jalen Waddle can, he's better than the slot. Jamar Chase can. Take one guess of what I'm getting ready to say.
He's better than the slot.
Better than slot. There's not a lot of outside receivers, so you look at a guy that I know I can play on the outside from day one, and he screamed up boards because he gets open. See, I watch more Carolina than most people do. So I was higher on the De'Ami Brown, Chaz Surratt, Daz Newsome, Javonte Williams, Michael Carter triumvirate than everybody else was. Doesn't mean they're dumb and I'm not. It means I got to that tape quicker because I work for the radio network. It's pretty easy for me to watch tape on a team that's on my station once a week.
Right. All right. Other risers mentioned Jackson Carman.
Jackson Carman's going to go stupidly higher than you think. Walter Cherepinski has him at 17 right now.
I was just getting ready to ask, top 20?
Yeah. Cherepinski has him at 17 to the Raiders. I don't buy that, not one bit. Do I see a team in the 20s falling in love with him? Yes, I do. Because they think he's a guard. And there's some teams that think he's a tackle. I don't get it. He sets back too high to me. But, yeah, more power to you. You want to not for this guy. We're going to do this later in the week. I like to play this fun game of name the bust. Jackson Carman in the top 20 or top 25. I like Jackson Carman as a bust.
Really?
Let me put it this way. He would be a big enough bust that if you saw that bust in a strip club, you'd put dollar bills in it.
It's not the bust reference that I thought you were going to make there, but that's pretty on par for old Jeremy. Other guys screaming up boards, Jabril Cox.
Jabril Cox is a really multiple linebacker. Pulled a U.
Mouth words, memory times.
Yep. I've been sitting too close to you. That shit's infectious. The Jameen Davis bullshit, yeah, we're wearing thin on that.
Yeah.
That's a guy I had a 5th round grade on. I watched some more tape and went, cool, I'd take him in the 4th. Yeah, he's not going in the 1st round. Everybody filled your head with that bullshit. He's not going that high. I think Jabril Cox will actually go ahead of him. Jabril Cox is really multiple. There's some knocks on him, but he is a great coverage linebacker.
He is indeed, and he's a guy that, transferred. Where did he transfer in from? From North
Dakota State.
No, he was at North Dakota State, transferred into LSU, and immediately made an impact. Hell, I think he had a touchdown. I think he had an interception return for a touchdown in his first game with LSU playing at the big level. So this is a guy that, is not going to shy away from playing at a larger level. He's a guy that I really, really like. And I don't know, lazy comparison, Devin White.
Very lazy comparison, very different players.
Are they?
If I was going to make a comparison to Jabril Cox, I don't hate that one. Pro Football Focus is Devondre Campbell, and I don't hate it. I think he's a much better coverage linebacker than Devondre Campbell is.
Okay.
He's not a power guy. I like the way they said this. He'd been a safety 15 years ago. But he's that Isaiah Simmons kind of hybrid-y linebacker, and that's becoming more and more and more popular.
Has Jabril Cox been tied to any teams yet?
A bunch of them in the beginning of the 2nd round. Hey, does your team pick in the top 15 picks the 2nd round? They probably talk to him. Especially if they don't run a 3-4.
Okay.
Because he can't play in a 3-4. So if you're a 3-4 team, you're back on that Nick Bolton, Jameen Davis horse shit.
I like Nick Bolton.
I like Bolton. He's a thumper. I don't think he could cover me, but by God, he can knock my brains out when I caught it.
Right.
I mean, I'd catch it in his eyeball, and then he would knock my head clean off my shoulders. There's a merit to that.
There is a merit to that. Kadarius Toney, I've been hearing a lot about him, and namely with the Philadelphia Eagles. Apparently they're interested in Kadarius Toney, and 12 seems like way too high.
Stop that. Kadarius Toney, if they drew the route on the field like Madden, he'd still find a way to fuck it up. You could literally draw it out like a chalk outline of a dead body, and Kadarius Toney would still run away from it. He can't run a route. You want to know what Kadarius Toney is? It's real simple. Watch the first 3 years of Curtis Samuel. Mm-hmm. There it is. You're not taking that high. Plus, did you happen to hear the report from me and Rappaport last week that teams think this is the best slot receiver draft in NFL history?
No.
Yeah, that was, first of all, I've said the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. Second of all, he ain't wrong. What does that mean? Supply and demand. Did you take econ in high school? Okay. When there's a lot of them, you don't have to take them high.
Right.
I look at a guy like Shi Smith out of South Carolina. I like him almost equivalent to Kadarius Toney. He's not as fast, but I think he's more physical. He's a better route runner. Every team in the SEC knew the ball was coming to Shi Smith, and guess what? He's still the best player on the field 90% of the time.
Well, think about Philadelphia's history, though. I mean, we just hell, last year they took a guy.
They're not taking Kadarius Toney at 12. They're not. You were asking about confidence of picks.
Yeah.
Kadarius Toney at 33 of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of those I am dead set on. Namely, I've heard it multiple times. Second of all, it makes all the sense in the world. Because then you're super multiple with Laviska Shenault. You can line him up in the backfield. You can put Kadarius Toney in the slot. And then you just have a bunch of weapons for Trevor Lawrence. Mm-hmm. Makes all the sense in the world.
Okay. All right. Any other risers that come to mind? Oh, Kwity Paye.
Kwity Paye might be the first defensive player taken in this draft. And it could be to Brian's New York Giants.
No! No.
The Giants love to overdraft guys. They're just drunk on it. They're big fans of taking guys way too high.
Right.
And Kwity Paye at 11 would be stupidly high.
Well, that was kind of my point.
I heard it was Jason Owa. I'm still hearing it's Jason Owa, but the Kwity Paye, the noise on Kwity Paye is getting louder.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of my point with Philadelphia, too. I mean, if Philadelphia is going to fuck up, they're the prime candidate to do so.
Eagles going Eagle.
Yeah, after taking Jalen Reagor last year, when I screamed, no, don't do that. And they passed up on the Rookie of the Year. And so, yeah, the New York Giants, that would kind of fit with what they do as well. Kwity Paye. Get used to it, Brian.
I will fucking murder people.
Yeah, I will fucking murder people, he says. Just straight up murders. All right, and then there was a name that you mentioned to me before the show, a guy who, measured in at I almost said, it's
paltry.
It's paltry. That's the word.
Yeah.
Paltry. Your favorite word. A paltry. 5'7.5" at his pro day. Jalen Darden out of North Texas.
I love this kid.
Oh, how does he separate himself though in the best slot draft ever?
Because he's fast as shit. I mean, just like, my God, how is a human being that fast? He kind of reminds me of Darnell Mooney from the Bears.
All right.
But he's much faster. Let me ask you a fun question. How many receivers do you think were graded, slot receivers were graded by Pro Football Focus this year? It's a lot in college football.
Oh, okay.
A lot.
Okay.
600.
600.
So how many slot receivers had enough snaps to qualify?
Wow.
Where did Jalen Darden rank amongst all of them?
Top 5?
Number 5. And this is a guy you can get in the third round. Mm-hmm. He's a good kick returner. He reminds me of, he's got a very Darren Sproles-y talent to him. Mm-hmm. Of how's he going to get the ball? I have no freaking clue because he's about that big.
Yeah.
But if you get the ball in his hands, good things tend to happen because he is really elusive. He is really fast. I had him going to Cleveland in my last mock, and I'll be honest with you, I would really like that.
74.
I've said too much nice shit about Cleveland lately. I need to talk about the fact that it's the drabbest city in the world, and when you fly into their airport, there's a sign that says, "Abandon all hope, all ye that enter here."
Oh, and there's a penguin driving the Maserati.
That felt good.
You need that.
That felt good.
74 catches, nearly 1,200 yards last year, 19 touchdowns is what Darden was able to do at North Texas. He led the nation or was among the leaders in the nation in several categories. And so, at his, mighty 5'7.5", that's the thing. You don't have to be a big guy anymore.
I'll tell you.
It's starting to become a trend where the smaller the better, it seems like.
That's not true, but
you got guys like Javonte Smith who are weighing in at a wet paper towel weight.
There's so many receivers in this draft. As I'm sitting here just looking at it, I could honest to God see 30 guys being contributors at wide receiver next year. I mean, TJ Vasher from Texas Tech, that's a guy that's going to go in the 7th round. But he is a gigantic human being. He's 6'6", 210. Daz Newsom's going to go later than you think. Trayvon Grimes from Florida is a guy I like. Marquez Stevenson from Houston. Sage Surratt from Wake Forest. Anthony Schwartz from Auburn. Tam Terry from Florida State. It's a good year to need a receiver. I like every guy I just said.
Did you even mention Tylan Wallace in that?
No. Tylan Wallace is higher than all of the guys I just said.
I love Tylan Wallace.
I'm fine with him. Nico Collins. A big fan of Nico Collins. And a name that I just want on tape that I said, Amir Smith-Marset from Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that the grades on him are not pretty, but then you watch him and realize, oh, your quarterback suck again.
A couple of guys that are falling in their draft stock, just a week and a half away from the draft. You said Elijah Vera Tucker.
Same problem that I've said the whole time. We don't know what position he plays. Some teams have him as a right tackle. Some teams have him as a guard. One team I've talked to has him as a center. What position do you play? I mean, cool, you're a swing tackle. You know where that values? Late second, early third. Not saying he's going to go that low. Just saying he's not going to go as high as you think.
But a guy
I've had people compare him to Rashawn Slater, and I laugh aggressively.
Right. But a guy that can fill every role on an offensive line, to me, that would scream Kansas City.
Yeah, I think that would be his floor. I think his floor is probably 31 to Kansas City.
Because, I mean, that's what they've been
I don't
doing.
necessarily think he gets that low, but he's not going to go in that top 15 that he was being talked about at one time.
Right. I mean, because that's something that Kansas City has been doing over the last couple of years, is just slotting in guys that they.
Oh, they would love for him to be there.
Oh, absolutely.
At 31. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen, but it could.
Okay. And then Jameen Davis.
Yeah, Jameen Davis. You're watching the tape, going, this is not the guy that. He tested off the charts. All that was good. That's fine. Looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane. That's my favorite line in the world. And Jameen Davis is one of those guys I look at and I go, I do not understand what you're seeing.
Right.
He was out of position a lot. He was coached really hard by Mark Stoops, who's one of the best defensive coaches in the country. I just don't get it. That's a guy that if I was an NFL team, I would be avoiding that dude like grim death. Because you're going to take him too high, people are going to fall in love with the metrics and shit like that, and then he's going to get on the field and he's going to be Darren Lee 2.0. Oh, it hurt me to say that name this early on a Monday.
As the draft nears, though, we're getting more and more confident in where guys are going to go. The top 2 picks have been solidified for 3 weeks now. We've known what those are going to be. If you had to bet your house how far down in the draft how many do you think you could get right?
I feel very sure that I will win the media mock contest this year. 9 won it last year. I'll bet anything you want to bet, I get 9 right. Because Trevor's going 1, Zach Wilson's going 2. I'm going to stick with Trey Lance at 3 because I think he's going to come out and put on a show today, and I've already heard San Francisco can be swayed to take him.
Okay.
At 4, I'll take Kyle Pitts with Atlanta. Jamar Chase will go 5 to Cincinnati. If all of those things happen, Penei Sewell will go 6 to Miami, as I've said for as long as I can remember. Then I think Detroit trades down. You probably got a quarterback right there at 7. I would say to Denver. Carolina would take Rashawn Slater at 8. Detroit would take whichever receiver they prefer. I seem to think it's Jalen Waddle, not Devontae Smith at 9. 10 would be Surtain to the Cowboys. 11 would be the Giants, who that's the trade down spot with New England. I would say the last quarterback goes to New England right there. I'll put Mac Jones at 11 there. 12 is the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll give them Devontae Smith. 13 is the LA Chargers, who would take J.C. Horn. And then you're at 14 with Christian Darrisaw. 15 is one of the pass rushers. I'll go Kwity Paye.
Damn. That was pretty smooth.
That was off the top of my head with nothing on the screen.
That's pretty smooth. So you're through 15. You feel pretty solid about that.
I feel very solid about
setup.
everything I just said.
Okay.
New England is they're the fulcrum. If New England trades up, it changes things. If not, they're the drop dead spot for J.C. Horn. Mm-hmm. Then you get into Arizona at 16, who'll take the best corner left on the board. I've had it as Caleb Farley as long as I can remember, so I'm not going to back off that. And then you get into 17, 18, 19 is a weird spot. Micah Parsons going there somewhere, whether it's to the Giants or to the Washington football team. I don't think he will get past the Raiders at 17. And then that leaves Owusu Koramoah to go to Washington, which is terrifying.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He fills that hybrid joker role.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people said, he's too small to play linebacker in the NFL. You know what really helps that? When you have Chase Young and Montez Sweat in front of you.
I did not think you were going to get that far.
I can keep going.
Oh, I know. No, but what I'm saying is, 98% confident of that's how things are going to go. I'm only to 6. After that, I don't know what happens.
I feel very confident of everything I just said. Mm-hmm. Now, can things change? Absolutely. We got 10 days till the draft happens.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, what I will say is we're in prime bullshit territory. This is like, we're officially to that point of now every NFL team is like that wife that cheated on you. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you can listen to every word they say, but there's a little part of you going, that's bullshit. You weren't, but Shirley's. Kidding.
Shirley's.
Fuck Shirley. You weren't there.
I know a guy who said he saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were at the bar doing tequila shots. And I was drinking out in the shed.
Right.
Staring at the wall.
Right. I'm fully locked in on the top 6 right now. And instead of at 3, I think Mac Jones, I've bought into it. I think Mac Jones is going to be the pick at 3. And then after that, you're going to have Kyle Pitts go to Atlanta. You will have Jamar Chase go to Cincinnati. And I don't think Miami's going to be able to say no if Penny Sewell's still on the board.
I don't either. I've said Miami makes the most sense with Penny Sewell from Jump Street.
Well, I don't agree with that. I think he makes more sense with Cincinnati.
Well, he does, but they're not doing that.
Cincinnati's not doing it.
Yeah, here's the thing. Cincinnati's not doing that. They're
Cincinnati
taking
doesn't
Jamar
be
Chase
smart.
for better or worse. By hook or by crook, it's Jamar Chase at 5. Mm-hmm. Do I think it's a great idea? No, I don't. But you know what Cincinnati is? The most antiquated team in the NFL. Right. They have a small scouting staff. They're set in their damn ways. They do what they want to do, and that's the way it's going to go. Mm-hmm. And they're in on Jamar Chase, whether that's because they are or because Joe Burrow is. I have no idea. But that's what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait for it. The run-up to the NFL draft is going to be fun. Sifting through the bullshit, we'll continue it not only here in the Sportsocracy, but also on ESPN. Asheville, the Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene every weekday afternoon at 3 on ESPN Asheville. You can hear it everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Be sure to click the subscribe button. We are so close to monetizing ahead of the NFL draft. This is our biggest event of the year. We're going to be live for something like 17 hours or some shit like that. It is super important to us as people that, we like money. We do. We like money. And this is a wonderful opportunity for us to make a little, not a lot. That's not a lot. It's not a copious amount, but
right.
Every little bit helps. I had to throw that in there.
Like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to check us out as well all throughout the week. We're going to be putting out the team needs for every NFL team.
An aggressive amount of them. The goal is to be done with them by Thursday. Because then we have something else, which is my full 7-round mock draft. Every team leading into Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to be an
We're
aggressive.
going to live in this room.
Yeah.
And I'm completely fine with it. I mean, that's why we launched it. We want to be here for you.
By the way, any of you that want to take part in the draft, you want to have a role in it in some shape, form, or fashion, this is going to be the most fun shit we ever do.
Oh, it's a brilliant idea.
I can't wait for this. And and those of you that have been with us, especially those that have been with us since, back to we were doing this in a bar. If you're one of those people and you want to be involved, just shoot me a message. We'll find a way. We got a lot of space. You might have to bring a camping chair,
Which will be
because we don't have a lot of chairs. We keep breaking them because we're fat and they're old.
They're hand-me-downs. We don't, we don't hit the rack.
Most people steal pins from work. We steal chairs because there's no butts to go in them anymore. So it's fine.
This is all very true. But again, if you share the channel with your friends and help us hit monetization, then maybe we can afford more chairs.
Yeah.
I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. It is the Sportsocracy. Again, like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, we will be live for all of the picks of the NFL draft coming up next Thursday. We're a week and a half away.